You made a decision that most people around you did not understand. Not a dramatic decision. Not something that required a press release or a conversation with anyone. Just a quiet internal shift that happened one ordinary day when you looked at your bank account and your credit card balance and your growing collection of things that were supposed to make you feel successful, and you realized that none of it was adding up to anything. You were performing wealth without building it. You were spending money you had not yet earned on things designed to signal a status you had not yet achieved. And the more you spent on the signal, the further away the actual thing became. So you stopped, not all at once, not with a dramatic announcement or a social media post about your minimalism journey. Just quietly, gradually, decision by decision, you began choosing the thing over the appearance of the thing, wealth over looking wealthy, the balance sheet over the lifestyle performance. And what happened next is what this video is about. Stay with me until the end, because the final part of this POV is the moment that most people who made this choice describe as the strangest and most unexpected thing about it. Something that has nothing to do with money and everything to do with identity. That moment is coming. Do not go anywhere. Year 1, the disapproval phase. The first year of choosing wealth over looking rich is the hardest. Not because of the financial sacrifice, though that is real, but because of the social friction. The people around you are fluent in the language of visible consumption. They communicate through what they wear, what they drive, where they eat, and what they post. When you stop speaking that language, when you drive the same car for the third year in a row, when you decline the expensive holiday, when you stop upgrading things that still work, people notice, and their reaction is rarely neutral. Some of them think you are struggling. They ask careful questions. They offer help you do not need. The assumption, in a world where visible spending equals visible success, is that the absence of visible spending means something has gone wrong. Some of them are more direct. They call you cheap. They say you are no fun. They tell you that you cannot take it with you, as if the only alternative to spending everything is dying with a full savings account, as if the concept of financial freedom has not occurred to them as a destination worth building toward. You keep going anyway, not because you are indifferent to their opinions, because you have looked at the numbers, and the numbers are more persuasive than any social pressure. Year 2 and 3, the accumulation no one can see. Something is happening in years 2 and 3 that is completely invisible to the people who question your choices. In year 1, your savings rate has doubled from what it was before the shift. The automatic investment that goes out on the first of every month has been running consistently for 24 months without being interrupted, withdrawn, or redirected. The credit card debt that used to sit on the account as a low-level constant, not catastrophic, just always there, always accumulating, is gone. The interest that used to flow out of your account to the bank every month is gone with it. Your net worth, the number that matters and that no one around you can see from the outside, has crossed a threshold that would have taken you many more years at your previous trajectory. Not because your income changed dramatically, because you stopped losing money to the gap between what you earned and what you spent on looking like you earned more. You have also discovered something about consumption that you could not have understood from the outside. The diminishing returns arrive faster than anyone tells you. The 10th restaurant dinner generates less satisfaction than the first. The upgraded version of something you already had generates a week of novelty, and then becomes simply the thing. The drive to spend on experiences and objects to produce feelings turns out to be a drive with no bottom. It cannot be satisfied because the mechanism that drives it is not hunger. It is habit. When the habit is interrupted, something quieter and more durable arrives in its place. Year 5, the options start opening. Halfway through the decade, something changes that is no longer invisible. You have choices that you did not have in year 1. Real choices, with real stakes, that would not have been available to you on your previous trajectory. The job that is making you miserable is no longer something you have to endure indefinitely. You have enough saved at a period transition, finding something better, starting something yourself, taking time to decide, is survivable without catastrophe. The financial floor beneath you has risen high enough that certain falls no longer reach it. You have this thought for the first time that most people only have in retirement, if ever. You do not strictly need this particular paycheck. You want income. You want growth. You want to continue building. But the desperation it used to make bad jobs tolerable and bad situations navigable has gone quiet. And in its silence, you discover that you are more capable, more direct, and more confident than you were before. Because confidence, it turns out, is partly a financial condition. The people who question your choices in year 1 are still making the same choices they made then. Most of them are in the same financial position. Some are worse off. A few have begun asking you questions they would not have asked before, quiet questions in private about what you've been doing differently. Years 7 and 8, The compounding becomes visible. In years 7 and 8, something happens to the investment account that changes your relationship with the future permanently. The annual growth generated by the portfolio, by the returns on what is accumulated, exceeds the annual contributions you are making to it. The engine is now growing faster from its own momentum than from the fuel you are adding. Compounding has crossed the threshold where it becomes self-sustaining rather than dependent on your continued sacrifice. You check the account less often than you used to, not because you are indifferent, but because the anxiety that used to accompany checking, the hope that had grown, the disappointment when it had not, has been replaced by something closer to confidence. You know the direction of travel. You know the mechanism. You have watched it work for 7 years. The checking is unnecessary. Year 10, the strangest thing. And here's the moment I promised you. The thing that surprises people the most about a decade of choosing wealth over looking rich. It is not the number in the account, though the number is extraordinary compared to any projection they made in year 1. It is not the options that have opened, though those are real and significant. It is that somewhere along the way, without noticing exactly when, they stopped one of the things they used to want to look like they had. The luxury car that used to feel like a goal feels now like a complication. Another thing to insure, maintain, worry about in parking lots. The designer items that use to signal arrival feel now like a tax on the desire to be perceived. The expensive holidays that used to define success feel now like a significant expenditure of money that could instead fund another year of freedom. This is not deprivation. It is recalibration. The person who made the shift a decade ago has not just built wealth. They have built a different set of values. Slowly, through the accumulation of choices that reinforce each other until new orientation became the default. They do not want what they used to want because they have discovered that what they wanted was not the thing. It was the feeling they believed the thing would produce. And that feeling of security, of freedom, of being exactly where you chose to be, turned out not to require any of the things at all. It only required the decade. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.